COBOL is either a dead language or a hidden career shortcut. Here's which is true. If you ask the internet about COBOL, you usually get one of two extreme answers. One side says it is ancient, outdated, and barely worth thinking about. The other side says it is a secret opportunity because old banking and government systems still rely on it, and not many younger programmers want to touch it. The truth sits somewhere in the middle. COBOL is absolutely old. It goes back to the early era of business computing. But old does not always mean irrelevant. Some of the most important systems in the world are not flashy consumer apps. They are the quiet systems that process transactions, keep records, move money, and run institutions. IBM says COBOL still supports a huge share of banking and payment activity, and that hundreds of billions of lines of COBOL code remain in production. So the real question is not whether COBOL still exists. It clearly does. The real question is whether learning it is a smart career move in 2026. COBOL survived because it was built for business data processing, and it turned out to be very good at that job. A lot of large organizations, especially banks, insurance companies, and government institutions, built mission-critical systems in COBOL decades ago. Those systems often still work. They handle huge volumes of transactions. They are stable. They are deeply connected to internal workflows. And replacing them is usually expensive, risky, and slow. That matters because companies do not rewrite critical infrastructure just because a language stopped being fashionable. They rewrite when the cost, risk, and business value make sense. Until then, they keep maintaining, extending, and gradually modernizing what they already have. That is why COBOL remains real in 2026. Not because it is trendy, but because it still sits underneath serious enterprise operations. There are a few reasons people still look at COBOL as a career option. First, it is a niche. Fewer people want to learn it than Python, JavaScript, or Java. In some cases, that lower competition can create opportunity. Second, COBOL work often lives inside large institutions. That can mean more stable environments than some trend-driven parts of the tech industry. Third, COBOL can give you access to enterprise systems work. That includes mainframes, transaction processing, batch jobs, legacy integration, and the business logic that large companies rely on every day. And there is still a learning ecosystem around it. The Open Mainframe Project's annual report shows active efforts to train students and early career developers through education hubs, mentorship, and more advanced COBOL labs designed around practical work rather than just theory. So yes, there is a real argument for COBOL as a specialization. It is not imaginary. Now, for the part people often skip, COBOL is not a magic shortcut into tech. For most students, the broader software market matters more than the existence of a niche. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics projects the general computer programmer occupation to decline by 6% from 2024 to 2034, while software developers, QA analysts, and testers are projected to grow by 15%. That does not mean COBOL jobs disappear. It means the overall opportunity set is larger if you build around broader software development skills first. There is also a second catch. COBOL jobs usually come with an ecosystem. Employers may want familiarity with mainframes, enterprise workflows, old databases, transaction systems, testing, compliance, and operational processes. In other words, learning basic COBOL syntax is not enough by itself. A third catch is flexibility. If you go too narrow too early, you may limit your options in startups, product companies, web engineering, mobile development, AI tooling, and other faster-growing parts of the market. So COBOL is not a cheat code. It is a specialization with trade-offs. COBOL may be a good fit if you like enterprise systems, stable institutions, business logic, and work that sits close to banking, insurance, public systems, or large-scale operations. It may also make sense if you already have a path into organizations that still use mainframes, or if you are deliberately choosing a contrarian specialization that fewer people chase. But for most students starting from zero, the smartest path is usually this: build strong general software fundamentals first, then explore COBOL as an add-on specialization if the enterprise side of tech genuinely interests you. That means learning programming fundamentals, data structures, databases, version control, testing, and maybe a mainstream backend language first. After that, COBOL can become a useful differentiator instead of your entire identity. So, is COBOL still a good career in 2026? Yes, for the right person. No, as a blanket recommendation for everyone. COBOL is not dead. It still matters because old enterprise systems still matter. But it is best understood as a niche path with real value, not a universal shortcut. The best bet is to pair legacy system knowledge with modern engineering skills, because that combination is where the real leverage is now. If you are a student, here is the simple version. Do not choose COBOL because people online say it is dead. And do not choose it because someone says it is easy money. Choose it if you understand what it is, a still relevant enterprise language with a narrower but genuine career path, especially when combined with modernization skills. In 2026, COBOL is not the future of all software, but it is still part of the present of critical systems. And for some people, that makes it a very practical career lane. If you'd like to go further, the next step is obvious. We can break down how to learn COBOL in 2026, which tools and platforms actually matter, and whether students should treat it as a side skill or a full specialization. You can also check out our COBOL Complete Reference course on our YouTube channel.